So, one thing that I want to kind of clarify a bit about fermented foods is how much I eat of for how much fermented foods I eat, how much you should eat, that kind of thing. One question, I guess, or bit of discussion that I am seeing out there is making me think that there's a little bit confusion about the fermented foods. So let me go into it. First of all, carnivore diet is the best diet in my opinion, and that's what I do. And eating fermented foods does not change that. Um, Dr. Sean O'Mara calls it the Living Carnivore Diet because you're adding these living probiotics essentially into your diet with the carnivore diet. And that's essentially what it is. It's a very small amount of fermented foods. So let me explain something. Like, let's take good culture cottage cheese. If you look at it, I go and look at it here. One serving is a half a cup. A half a cup. Now, let me see. How many? Let me look this up. How many tablespoons in a half a cup? You get 8 tablespoons and a half a cup. 8 tablespoons and a half a cup. That is like way more than you need. So one serving is way more than you need. Think of it not as the fermented food is a food, but it's more of like a garnish or a condiment to the meat that you are eating. It's something you can dip your meat, your ground beef, your steak, chicken, whatever it is that you're eating into, right? So it's a very small amount. It's nowhere near one serving. It's nowhere near half a cup. It's okay. So that said, again, let me look. It was 8 tablespoons. I would say like half a tablespoon or a tablespoon at the most. So we're talking like 1/8, 1/10, maybe 10% of a serving is what you're taking. And you might do this with the cottage cheese, so good culture cottage cheese, and do it with a little bit of yogurt and maybe some kefir, right? And so you put those three things together, it's still not even half of a serving. It's less than half of a serving. So it's a very small amount. Now, with that very small amount, these things have live and active cultures, and you are getting billions of these microbes, these living microbes that are going in and into your gut, and they're the healthy microbes that you need in your gut that is going to make your gut feel better. It's going to help to accelerate fat loss and different things like that, right? So millions and billions of these in just that little bit, that 1/10 of a serving, right? So that's what I wanted to kind of clarify today is like some people are saying like, oh, I can't really do that because of the problems with eating too much dairy will cause weight loss stalls for me or something to that effect. And it's such a small amount. It's nowhere even near a serving, so it shouldn't be that kind of a problem. And I think maybe that needed to be clarified. So that's what I wanted to talk about, at least in the first half of this video today. All right. So I hope that's kind of straightened out. Now, for the second half of the video here, I wanted to talk a little bit about my recovery with my hamstring injury that I had. It's been about 4 weeks, so it's not quite a month because a month is really like 4.5 weeks, but it's close to a month, a little less than a month, about 4 weeks here, and I am doing great. I should be looking at probably a 2 to 4 month recovery time period for my age for a hamstring tear of this the type of tear I had. And I am just short of a month and I am doing great. Like, my progress is really good. Some of the can't think of what I want to say, but the physical therapy that I am doing includes doing squats. I am doing squats now. I am doing some static stretching, some toe raises or to touch your toes, whatever type thing, which I'm not that limber to where I can touch my toes. But, I'm doing those kinds of things. Um, and so I am able to do that kind of stuff. I'm able to go up and down steps pretty normally. One thing that I have noticed is that while I don't have issues with walking, I am still walking slower. I went to Lowe's a few days ago with my wife, and normally she sometimes has to ask me to slow down to keep up with her. And actually, I had to ask her to slow down for me to keep up with her just because I am walking slower. Some of that might be a mental thing that I don't want to walk faster. I don't know. But I think that if I do walk a little faster, that maybe that's a bit too much. So I'm walking at a more casual speed. So that is one thing I do notice that still isn't quite where it needs to be. So I can't say I'm back to normal there. And obviously, it's supposed to be months, like 5, 6 months before I can run. So I don't know what it'll be, but I'm no, I'm not at that point that I want to even try running yet. So you know, there is that. But the key point here is that the recovery has been great. It's been a lot faster than expected. I don't really seem to have any issues sitting anymore like I was before. I don't have any bruising left or any of that kind of stuff. Um, and for me, it's doing the carnivore diet. That's like the main thing, right? I've been adding a little bit of extra creatine. I know that I get creatine with my diet, but I'm adding some supplementing some creatine. So that's the second thing here, right? So I'll take like a teaspoon, tablespoon, somewhere in there. I think teaspoon actually, yeah, it's a teaspoon that I've been doing of creatine. And a third thing is that I've been doing Stem Enhance Ultra, which I had already been taking for about 3 years now. Here's a Stem Enhance Ultra. I've been taking that for about 3 years now. And for the first 2 weeks, I doubled my dosage on the Stem Enhance Ultra. So before I was taking 3 servings a day, I went to 6 servings a day. And now I'm back after the first 2 weeks. I've been back down to just the normal 3 servings a day. But I think that those three things are really key to expediting my recovery. And, Stem House Ultra, this is the second thing now that I've had in 3 years that I really contribute to that. I go back, this is probably about a year into the carnivore diet. So about 2 years ago. So yeah, it was about 2.5 years ago, I guess, when I started taking Stem Enhance Ultra 2.5 years ago. And when I started taking it, I had a shoulder injury that had been bothering me for years. And it got a little bit better with doing carnivore for about the first year there at carnivore, but it wasn't still that great. Like I had issues with raising my shoulder up. And within about 3 to 4 months of taking the Stem Enhance Ultra, the issues were completely gone. I have no issues with that shoulder at all anymore. So that was something where I really saw a difference with Stem Enhance Ultra. And then, of course, my recovery here from this hamstring injury has been great. I know Professor Bart K had I think it was an Achilles injury of some sort, and he documented how quick his recovery was. Again, it's, carnivore diet and then Stem Enhance Ultra make a huge difference. And the thing with the Stem Enhance Ultra is that it takes your stem cells that are getting stuck in your body and it allows them to go through your blood vessels, to the areas in need and repair and replace those cells. So, you as you get older, you have less of those stem cells that are moving throughout your body and repairing those. And that's why recovery tends to be harder and longer as you get older and so forth. And it's allowing more of those stem cells to get out again and do its work. So that's kind of what Stem Enhance Ultra does. So, yeah, that's my plug for it. You can get it by going to the link that's on the screen, or I'll have it down in the description of this video. And, if you're interested in looking into a plan, an option to get it for free, then let me know and we can talk about that further, because there is a way that you can get Stem Enhance Ultra free of charge, which is a pretty cool thing. So anyway, that's kind of my update. That's where we're at. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.